Since we have a solid number of people here, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome to our virtual spooky sustainable Halloween party. Really excited to have you guys here and to still have events where we can get together and celebrate, even though we can't be together in person. My name's Maddie, and I'm the program director at Debris Free Ocean. So I help plan a bunch of our events. And ever since we've had to social distance, we've taken it virtual. Um, and so if you don't know DFO, we are a 501c3 nonprofit based in Miami, all about eradicating marine debris. We do this through cleanups, but also through education, through sustainability consulting. There's a lot of focus on beach cleanups and park pickups, but there's a lot of stuff we can do from home and with our lifestyle choices and our partying choices that can help reduce that debris from the source. So we like to host events to raise awareness on that, like this event on Halloween, which can end up being really scary in terms of the amount of waste it can create. My my goggles are getting foggy. Might have taken them off for a sec. But anyways, just really quickly to go over some housekeeping. We're going to have three amazing speakers today. So we ask that you remain muted while they speak. And then if you are not muted, I might mute you. If I do, don't take it personally. We just want to give them a chance to talk. And then after each person gives a little tutorial or spiel, we'll pause for questions before the next person. As we go, feel free to use the chat box to put either questions for people, but you can also use it to put additional resources. So if you have a craft idea that we didn't mention or a costume idea, put in the chat. I normally follow up from these events with a follow-up email, so I'll include any resources that you guys provide in the chat. And then, yes, that's about it for housekeeping. I'm going to go over who we have giving us amazing talks today. I'm going to have them introduce themselves just right before they speak in the interest of time. So we have Tanya from Sweet Liberty, who's going to teach us how to make a spooky themed cocktail featuring a way to add an eyeball decoration that's not made from plastic, which I'm excited about. And then we have Katy, who's one of the Debris Free Oceans team members. She actually made this pumpkin that I stole to make my spooky background because I wanted a background that was Halloween themed. And she's gonna talk about how to make eco-friendly Halloween decor. And then we have Colleen from the Full Edit, who's going to talk about how we can make costumes from stuff in our house so we don't have to go purchase anything. And I said when we had a meeting call for this event with the panelists, and I said, no, we weren't doing slides because this is a party, but I couldn't help myself because I'm a nerd, and I made like 3 quick slides because I wanted to just share some quick info about why this is so important. So super fast. This is a figure that I found from the National Retail Federation that shows the spending on Halloween over the years. The numbers are a little small on the screen, but the top blue dot for 2019, which is the spending on costumes, is $3.2 billion. And so the numbers below that yellow line is candy, which is often wrapped in single-use plastic. The black line is decorations, which are often made from cheap plastic. And then the red line is actually greeting cards for people sending out cards. But so we're clearly spending a lot on Halloween, and it's likely that a lot of this is being spent on plastic. I found a study out of a group in the UK called Hubbub that surveyed costumes, Halloween costumes on Amazon, at H&M, a couple of other big names like Zara and Topshop, and they looked at the content of those costumes and found that 83% of the material in those costumes clothing was made from oil-based plastics. So we're buying these costumes that we wear for one night made from these harmful plastics like polyester. But this is kind of interesting where it shows, again, from the National Retail Federation, where we're buying this stuff. And so you can see a big block is discount stores, Halloween stores. But here you can see 11% of this purchasing is at thrift stores, which is really exciting.
That was a higher number than I would have expected. So this is great, and we can definitely do what we can to promote this behavior and increase this percentage over the years and through events like this and communications. So then last slide, not a figure, just a quote from an article that I found pretty interesting where they interviewed people in the UK. There's surprisingly a lot of information about Halloween in the UK and wastefulness. So they're ahead of the game on this. But they interviewed people from waste management, and they basically said that the day after Halloween or week after Halloween is just a nightmare because they're flooded with all of this not recyclable waste that's like some batteries from cheap flashing decorations and cobwebs because people use it for Halloween and that's it. So we clearly need to change our behavior because so much waste can be generated in one night, but so much waste can also be prevented in one night by raising awareness and showing people how to party with a purpose. So that's why we're here. That's all I have for my slides. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And then I'm going to hand it over to Tanya to teach us how to make a spooky bot cocktail representing Sweet Liberty and also using illegal mezcal alcohol. So I will unmute you or ask you to unmute. Sorry, Tanya, I muted you because you had some background noise, but you should be good.
Yeah, we know. Hi, everyone. Hi. This is Michelle. We work at Koyo together and also representing Sweet Liberty. And happy to be here. Super excited to be here. We're going to make a fun little cocktail that's pretty simple to make with with things that are minimal. We're using delicious Ilegal. We want to thank Ricky for sponsoring us with Ilegal because it's our favorite mezcal. Thanks, Ricky. It's my favorite. Thanks, Ricky. So basically, this cocktail is easy. You're just gonna do 2 to 1 parts. So 2 parts mezcal. If you're making it in a cocktail, it's the same thing in like a glass at your house. So we're just gonna use cups because we're making it for a party. Woo! COVID safe party. COVID safe party. Then we juiced a bunch of blood oranges. And so that's the blood orange and agave already mixed together. Oh, it is. It is. No, it's not. It's not? Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. So this is blood orange. Fresh squeeze. 1 part or 2? 1 part. We'll probably make more, but and then this is also agave, 1 part. So we're probably gonna taste this as we go. I think we should just do another cup of how many cups did you do? I did 2, so now we'll do 2 more. Right? Okay. You want to make a full punch? Make a double. Okay. All right. Anyways, we don't need to make a double right now. So we're just gonna do it for now. So basically what you want to know is it's 2 to 1. So 2 parts of your spirit, Ilegal, and then 1 part of your citrus and 1 part of the agave. And then we're gonna top it with this yummy sparkling blood orange soda. San Pellegrino. Thank you. Let's give it a little tasty taste. And then do we want to put the Dracula? Where's the ice? Oh, so you can make this as big or as small as you want it, as long as you just remember it's 2 to 1. It's kind of like making a sour, like a whiskey sour. So we couldn't find the lychee eyeballs because lychees apparently are very seasonal, but we made hand ice sculptures. So we're just gonna plop this guy in there, like give it a little stir. Our hands are all clean. Okay. And this is what we used. This is how we did that. We just used sterile rubber gloves, filled them up with water the night before, and peeled them off. And now we got a cool, creepy hand ice cube. Where's my? Ooh, there we go. Now maybe we can show that one. Sorry. I think we should put regular ice. I think we should put more. I think we should double this up. So basically what we're gonna do now is just to make it look spookier, like it's bleeding. is a bar spoon, 2 or 3. Just dump it on there and make his hand nice and bloody. Ooh, just pour it all in there. Pour it, okay. Just pour it. It's gonna be delicious. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. And looks beautiful. It does actually look beautiful. We're gonna top it off with some regular ice. And if I was having a super party, I would make this probably 3 times the size with the same ingredients. Drop some of these in there. Blood oranges. And now you have to try it. Yeah, now you have to try it. Definitely. Okay, let's taste it. First, let's see how cute it looks. Yay! Hold on, how do I do this? And here is our creepy Halloween. It's called a bloody hell. It's called a bloody hell. Now let's taste it. So let's try that. That's for you, Tom. Oops, hold on. I'm so bad at this. All right. Oh, and so I'm sorry. The most important thing is we're doing this with sustainable cups. So I happen to have these cool metal goblets that we're going to use, but I also get these. You can go to the Surf Rider Foundation and do clean beaches, no plastic. We're doing everything against using plastic. So it's kind of the point of this. Your friends can come over and enjoy a cocktail without wasting 5 million Dixie cups. Cheers. Or what are they called? Solo cups. Cheers! Solo cups.
Cheers.
Cheers! That is delicious. It's really good.
We actually didn't know.
We're going to triple this up next time.
Awesome. And describe your costumes, your mermaids that
died.
We've been killed from plastic. We got
straws sticking out.
I have a hook here.
So we also, if we happen to go anywhere later, we have COVID-friendly masks that are also
Covered in plastic.
because they killed us.
One-use plastics.
Oh, it's awesome. I love it. You guys look amazing. I am so mad. I would be dressed up in costume too if I didn't get caught up at my job, but you guys look
Well, you were scuba diving, so that's amazing.
I'm jealous. And I pulled up a picture of the eyeballs that they were thinking about doing so I could show you guys a visual. Oh wait, my smart screen. So you put a raspberry or a blueberry inside of the lychee to make it look like a spooky eyeball.
Yeah, you could use maraschino cherries and then stick a raisin in the middle of that and then stick the maraschino with the raisin inside the lychee and it looks like it's bleeding. But they didn't have them at 3 stores, so I didn't,
It's hard to get.
Anyone has any questions about the cocktail, feel free to put it in the chat. Since you guys can't unmute yourself, you can ask me unmute and I can do it. But let us know. If not, that was so great. I'm excited to try it. It looks delicious. And we'll switch it over to Katy, who's going to walk us through some ideas for sustainable Halloween crafts.
Yay!
Yay.
Bye!
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Cheers!
Cheers.
We did it!
All right. So, Katy, I spotlighted you so we can see all your.
You did a great job, Tanya. Oh my God.
All right.
I wish I had their mermaid costumes because those are amazing. But yeah, happy spooky season, everyone. I'm gonna talk about different ways that you can decorate for Halloween in particular, obviously, but it's always good to try to think sustainably when you're decorating for any holiday in general. There's always a lot of waste generated by different decorations that people use for a single holiday event, and the holidays happen every year, so you can get reusable things to decorate with, or good to think about compostable items when you are choosing your decor. So instead of like going through a single craft item, I'm going to just share some general ideas on how to decorate sustainably so that hopefully at least one idea maybe speaks to you. But yeah, starting the classic Halloween decoration is a pumpkin, and those are actually a plant and and they're compostable and a good eco option. So definitely encourage you to make the pumpkins every year. But one portion of pumpkin carving that can get not so eco-friendly are those little crappy plastic tools that you buy every year, and like you're trying to cut the pumpkin and it like bends halfway through. They're like garbage anyways, they're not great. So one thing you can think about when you're getting ready to carve a pumpkin is to buy some quality carving tools. Don't have to get too crazy, but just something that you might actually want to use a couple of rounds, and save it for next year. So I saved my carving tools from last year. I just lived in like a 1-bedroom apartment. It took up like this much space, and it felt really good when I pulled them out this year, and I didn't have to go and buy more of the little orange plastic handle ones. So yeah, I carved this DFO pumpkin, which was super fun. Love the octo always. And you can, when you're carving, you can use all of the different parts. So we're looking at the pretty part, but when you take the guts out, that's really good compostable material. So if you compost, you can stick that in your composter. My sister took our guts and put them into her composter, so she helped me out and did the legwork on that one. But you can also use the seeds. I know a lot of people like to eat pumpkin seeds, but when you're actually carving the pumpkin themselves, sometimes it can get intimidating to figure out how to use them. But you can just separate the seeds from the guts, give them a little bit of a rinse, and it's quick to bake them, like 20 minutes at 400. And there's a ton of different types of seasonings you can put on them and flavor them however you want. I did a couple trays of pumpkin seeds this year. I did one with like a Cajun seasoning that was really good. And then you could also go like a sweeter route and do like a cinnamon sugar type thing. My cat is joining us. It's really hard to decorate with cats. So there was a couple ideas I wanted to do, and my cat started terrorizing them immediately. So I'll share that a little bit more. But yeah, with the pumpkin, just use all the parts. Always good to try to get the most out of everything that you can. But I also like when decorating for Halloween to go love looking at the gourds too, and thinking about the other plants that you can decorate with, and you can kind of get 2 holidays in one with those, because you can just leave them in your home through Thanksgiving and let them hang out throughout November. And it's always fun to look, just try to find like the item with the most warts on it. It's just like these things look so bizarre. I think it's like so cool that these things grow in nature. And I just I picked out some of my favorites and put them in a bowl and have that on my coffee table. So it's just kind of a little bit of a festive, eco-friendly decor. Just threw like an acorn and a butternut squash in there too, which I'll definitely eat at some point. So they're useful for that as well. But yeah, I think decorating with compostable materials is important, something to keep in mind. Even if you don't have a composter, it's best if you do and you actually compost it. But there's still benefit in just using compostable materials. Even if you don't end up composting them in the end, it's better than buying some item that's takes more energy or resources to manufacture, and it doesn't break down so well. So I don't know, just even if maybe you don't have a home composter, it's still beneficial to think about decorating with compostable items. So just wanted to mention that. But some other things that you can use that are compostable, there's like the super trending cinnamon brooms out there that I like. They make the home smell really good. And they are all natural, and they're just wrapped with twine. So I think that's a pretty good option. And then if you want to kind of get spooky, I like to do this year round actually, just buying some roses and letting them die and placing them around your place, and having like dead roses and candles around kind of creates a a spooky but kind of classy vibe. So just something that is easy to pick up, easy to do. You could just like not even put them in water, just put them straight in a container and just let them die, and they still look pretty cool. So those are some of the more natural ideas, I guess, that are fun to play around with, putting the gourds everywhere. I always have a lot of fun with. But I already mentioned candles. I think candles are a really, really nice way to decorate for Halloween. Just like the more you have, the better. It creates a nice ambiance. And when I was looking for different ideas for this event, I found an idea to grab recycled bottles and paint them black and turn them into candle holders. So I tried that out with these here, and then tried to like run the lighter all up and down the side of the candle to get some like good drippage on the side, which looks a little spooky. So that was fun. It took like 5 minutes. It was super easy to paint the bottles, and it's like literally like sandwich sauce and like champagne and wine bottles that I just found and painted. So that's something that you can do. Even just having like the tea lights around is easy and cute. Be safe if you're having candles all over and maybe drinking like that punch or something, so that you don't burn the place down for sure. But yeah, and those are kind of more like home ideas. And if you are just trying to get festive in a home environment, which like this is kind of the year for that. But if you're gonna be hosting a party, there's definitely some, more fun kind of party ideas that you could use for other holidays too. A lot of parties will like to have like some sort of sign on them for the holiday. If you go to a party, you see like a happy birthday sign, happy Halloween, whatever it is. A lot of times those are just single use items, and you could reuse them, but people usually don't because they're not really made for that. They're not the most durable. So I think it's fun to play around with making your own banner, and you get to customize it is a fun part. So you're not stuck with these canned phrases that you're buying at Party City or whatever. You can make whatever saying you want. So one option is just to paint a sign. That's a pretty easy one. But I've made a banner before as well with you can take old magazines and pages out, and you can cut the letters out from magazines and get whatever saying you want, and then just hang it on some type of string, and then it works for a sign. So I did that for a friend's birthday, and then I just threw it away afterwards, but I didn't feel bad about it. So that was kind of nice. And a lot of decorations use a lot of string. So there's a couple of different options to keep in mind when you're trying to hang things, whether it's a banner or other types of decorations. But using natural string is always good. I just have a ball of hemp at home that I use for like any sort of string necessity, wrapping gifts, or when I made the banner or whatever it is. Sometimes I'll just like throw a piece out for my cat. So that's an option. Or if you want to go like super above and beyond, I know Maddie's friend did this weekend. You can, collect that fishing line when you're doing the beach cleanups or ocean cleanups. Monofilament is like number one thing you see a lot, especially when you're diving, grabbing a lot of that. And you could reuse that. So you could save the fishing line and hang, whatever you want from it, a bunch of different ideas. One that I thought was cute for a party is you could cut out a bunch of bats just with black construction paper and just hang them on string around at different heights. And I thought that was kind of cute. But you could do that like with the twine or with fishing line if you keep that. And Maddie had another great idea from one of her friends. She made these hanging ghosts to put around her home, and they were with a tennis ball. So you might have those hanging around. I'm not so much of a tennis player, so I don't. But if you have a tennis ball, you could use that, and then just any sort of white fabric, a rag, whatever sort of material you have. You could cut up an old t-shirt if you have an old white t-shirt and just hang that over the tennis ball and hang it on a string, and you got a little ghost hanging around. So that was a cute idea for sure. But yeah, I think that's, oh, the one with my cat. I was really excited about making a big spider web was an idea I found. You can get any type of yarn, I guess any type of string, but yarn is pretty good, something with some thickness so you can actually see it a little more. And I found this like eco-friendly yarn that's actually made out of recycled plastic materials, and I was really excited to use it. And I got it out, and like immediately my cat started tearing it apart. So I was like, there's no way this web is gonna last in my home if I try to make it. So I didn't. But you can look it up online. It's super easy, and it's fun because you could make a spider web whatever size you want. So I kind of wanted to do like a whole corner of the apartment. I thought would be cool to have like a big wall piece. But there were some that were just like in a picture frame, a smaller scale spider web, and thought that was a cool idea. And even though that's something you're probably going to use once, it's at least a compostable option. It's better than getting like that other netting or any plastics, and you could give it to a cat afterwards. I know I've mentioned my cat a lot, but he's like on the radar around here. And then, yeah, I know Maddie mentioned with the candy too, that there's a lot of waste with candy given out at Halloween. And like, I honestly I was embarrassed to say that I hadn't even really thought about that before, but you get so many individually packaged little pieces of candy. I was thinking about like all the little Starbursts, Jolly Ranchers. Those aren't like super popular for Halloween, but you think about all of those wrappers adding up, and that's a lot. And one thing with to decorate with is you could just put like bowls of candy around. That's pretty festive for Halloween and throughout October. But just think about getting candy that either has no wrappers, like the candy corn is, I think, the most classic festive option to put in a bowl. Or if you are going to get something packaged, which that's more for distributing, think about getting candy that comes in a cardboard box. That's a little better than all of the plastic wrappers. So, Nerds is a good one, or Milk Duds, or something like that is a little bit of a better option. But that's all I have. So hopefully you got an idea from that. I had fun like brainstorming these ideas. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. Yeah, I was reading up a bit about how people were like, give out veggies and fruits, but the kids don't like that. So then they suggested like making brownies, which isn't the best during COVID times, but we keep all this in mind for next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks guys. If you have any questions for Katie, feel free to put it in the chat. But yeah, great ideas. Hope you guys use them. We've got a couple days for some last minute decorations. But now we're gonna have Colleen from the Full Edit talk about making costumes out of things you already own, things you might not expect to be a costume. I don't think Colleen's bought anything new for Halloween in like years, ever. I don't know. She's amazing. She's actually worked with Goodwill before to like put together a creative working with stuff you can find at Goodwill. So she is like my go-to when it comes to asking for costume advice. So I'm going to ask her to unmute, and I'm going to spotlight her video. And let's see. There she is. Hi, Colleen. Thanks so much for giving me some time. Oh, wait, hang on. I think you are muted. Let's see. I don't think you're muted, but I don't hear you. Let's see. It might be your headphones. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, my speaker is really low, so you might have to just give me a heads up if you can't hear me, but
Okay.
you can, right?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay. All right. So just going off of actually two things off of Katie's. Well, let's start with yours. I think the reason why there's so much good statistics coming out of the UK is because that's where Fashion Revolution started. And I'm also part of Fashion Revolution. So with Fashion Revolution, they do a lot of actually measurements of things that are being bought, sold in the apparel industry. So I think that's really cool that you found that. And it's crazy that last year we spent almost $9 billion, which on Halloween, which I think like all of us could probably use to pay for rent this year. But anyways, I'm just gonna give you a couple quick ideas of stuff that is already existing, maybe not totally existing in your home, but I'm jumping off of what Katie said. She has a lot of leftover string, and maybe this isn't necessarily for kids, this is probably the least PG Halloween costume, but just take your extra string, wrap it around, and you're high strung. So there's one. And then I'm also gonna make the easiest, this is gonna be 2020. And these next couple of costumes, all you really need to do is have like a solid shirt bottom, maybe all black, maybe all red, depending on what you're going for. But I got home late from work, so it's gonna be red for now. But this is gonna be the quick, easy one that literally Halloween, you wake up, you don't have to brush your hair, you don't have to brush your teeth. If you have makeup on from the day before, if you even put makeup on, leave it on. Your hair can be like all a mess. Have it any way you want it to be. And literally take some either, you could do clothespins, you could do safety pins. For the sake of not ruining my shirt, I'm gonna use tape and just stick on whatever laundry you have around. And this is called 2020 because your hair is a mess, your face is a mess, nothing showered. So that's the quick and easy one. And then staying with that theme of that, say you're in a full color or a full bodysuit and you have an old pillow that you maybe don't want. Open up that pillow, take all the fluff, stick it on, or wear all blue. You can stick it all on you. You could be a cloud, you could be the weather. And if you have a squirt gun, you could be cloudy with a chance of rain and you could squirt your friends. So that's another quick and easy one. Or you could be dirty laundry or static cling, put your hair up and make it stick up straight. You can also take from Katie's idea of taking all your leftover wine bottles or spirits from the amazing Dead Mermaids. Take your spirits, use that extra yarn that you have, tie it over your shoulder like we would up in the north. We put our ice skates over our shoulder and you're just booze. You could be booze like drinking booze, or you could be booze like, ooh, scary. Then another one is, I don't know who all here has ever participated in MMA. I used to live in Harlem, so I have lots of boxing gloves, but take your boxing gloves. If you don't have a sweatband, you can also make one. If you have leftover black makeup, or just ask your girlfriend for her eyeliner, you can draw a little black eye, and now you're Rocky. You can make up your own little accent. There's that one. If you have a striped shirt, guys or girls, everyone has a striped shirt, right? It's a pretty basic thing. All right, pretend that I'm wearing this shirt. Get your hipster hat with your black shirt, and then all you need is to cut off 2 eyes. You could either be Zorro, or the Hamburglar, and it costs you nothing. It's just like with stuff that you have around, right? Or if you're like Maddie and I, we love our sports and our teams. I mean, I feel like I do this any day. Just throw on your, ooh, it's fit to Jihad's head. My head's a lot bigger. Just put on your sports cap, your jersey, which I have tons of. I just haven't pulled them out. And maybe depending on we have, like, bring your football or whatever, and you're a sports fan. For all of those guys that like to be a little bit funny, you could also be in a salad. You could be well hung. Not that you put this on a kid. Please don't tell any kids to do this, but lots of household items well hung. And then if you want to be like the Dead Mermaids, which I'm loving their costumes. I don't know if you guys I should be ashamed, but sometimes I get fruit and it has all this plastic stuff on. Again, we're all blue. You can hang this on yourself and you could be a funny activist, and you could be, unfortunately, the ocean because it's full of so much plastic. So you could also like use it as a conversation piece to be proactive about being a cool person that likes to save the ocean. And then one of the most coveted things of 2019, toilet paper. I don't know if you want to use this for anything except what it's meant for, but if you happen to be so lucky that you have an extra square to spare, you can just like literally cover yourself and be a mummy, or you could be the MVP of 2019, like the most expensive thing, the most rare thing. Or does everyone know who Iris Apfel is? Or does anyone know who Iris is? If not, look her up. She's this like fabulous old, I want to say old, like 98-year-old lady that traveled the world. And she literally is known for her black glasses. There's always pictures of her like this. She's like a fashion icon. She just wears lots of gaudy jewelry that I think is amazing. So if you want to be a fashion icon, I collect costume jewelry, so this one's easy for me. Just grab all your costume jewelry, and it's me on a regular day, but just layer on all your different costume jewelry, put on glasses, and then your Iris Apfel. Another one, if you do have plastic bags, not that you want to have them, but if you do have them, you can also borrow from the freezer, throw on your swimsuit. We're in Miami. Grab your ice cubes. You can put them in your plastic bags and pin them up on you, and your ice cube, the wrapper. Or I'm trying to think. Everyone gets lots of business cards too. Same thing, solid color. Pin on all your business cards. And now you're a Rolodex. And hey, maybe you'll be able to connect people too. Or credit cards. You could be in debt, which is probably the scariest thing that anyone would be this Halloween. And then what else do we have? You can always do like bubbles, have a can or something of bubbles, bathrobe, towel, shower cap. That one's kind of funny. And then going on to a little bit more advanced ones, and then I'll let you guys go. If you're around my age or have an aunt or someone around your age, we all have circa 2001 to 2006, RIP, one of these maybe faux fur pieces of clothing. Maybe you didn't have them in Miami, but it was a big thing up north. And I know you probably don't have these, but in the case that you do, gloves. Just cut your little glove fingertips off. Not your fingertips, but the gloves. Take your faux fur, cut it off, and hot glue it on. And you now have like little werewolf hands. And you can do the same thing. Cut it off, put a couple pieces on your pants. This is the one that I did with the Goodwill, so I'm recycling a recycled outfit. And then you could be a lumberjack werewolf. This just happened to be the shirt that I didn't want to wear, so I upcycled it into a lumberjack werewolf. There's that. And then let's see, we have two more, and then I'll let Maddie take back over. It's a little bit more advanced. What do we have? Squirt gun. This one is a little bit more advanced, and I know the DFO people are familiar with it. Collect all your beautiful, colorful t-shirts. And what you do is you just cut off the long way of the t-shirt, fold it in half, and then just snip going up, which when you snip, you'll have a whole bunch of this beautiful rainbow fabric. You just glue it all together, and eventually you'll be a unicorn, and you'll have your like rainbow bright tail. And this one I got from the Goodwill, so it's all secondhand. And the Goodwill has a ton of like extra Halloween costumes because they're all unfortunately mostly single use. So, or you could be like a fabulous whatever, or you could be a clown. And I feel like I had one more, but you should see my space here. It's all a mess. Oh, and then of course, how could I forget? If you have a piece of fabulous, old school, over the top, super gaudy, which I love, 80s wear, rock it, put it on, wear it out. And yeah, I think that's all I got for now. So hopefully those will help you. You don't have to spend any money. You can be punny. Oh, I do have one more. I lied. You could have your collar and just be a Ruth for the year, or I look like Little Red Riding Hood, whatever you want to do. But you could put a collar on a red shirt and look at that. Your Ruth or your, yeah. So hopefully those give you a couple ideas of stuff so you don't have to go out and spend money or make any extra waste or be part of the $9 billion we spend each year on Halloween. And yeah, hopefully that works. And thanks so much for joining us, guys. Maddie, back to you.
Thank you, Colleen. You never cease to amaze me with all these fabulous ideas. Like, forever impressed. But yeah, that's about it. These are all so great. Thank you so much, Tanya and Katie and Colleen. I feel inspired. I will admit that I have definitely been wasteful on Halloween and I need to be better. And you guys inspire me, and just one step at a time, do what you can to change these behaviors and help make the most wasteful holiday that much less wasteful. Because we don't need to give up having fun in order to be sustainable. We can meet in the middle. Yeah, that's about it. I might I want to unmute everyone just at the end so people can say bye. If the bomber's still here and they go on, I'm just going to end the meeting. So I'll unmute you guys so that people can say hi if they want. But if any bombers come, just ending
Fuck
it.
global warming. No, I'm kidding.
Thank you,
Oh
guys.
my God, you scared me.
This was awesome.
That
Thank
was
you so much,
awesome,
guys.
guys. Thank you so much.
Hey, bye. Happy Halloween.
Sarah loved it.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Happy Halloween.
Bye. Bye.